guys, we are back on the Keeway. We're going to piss about with a Keeway today. More specifically, I've got the seat off, as you can see. I want to try and get the battery mounted under there. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'm thinking probably got to build a custom battery box. What did I do with that bracket? I did have a bracket a minute ago. I don't know what bloody hell I've done with it. The original one off the Keeway. Here it is. It's up here, look. I was looking at dropping something like that in there, but I don't think I'm going to get it low enough. The battery's going to sit too high up on the seat. So what I'm thinking of, I'll probably throw that in the scrap actually, chuck it in there for now. Battery, there it is. I don't know where I put anything today, guys. So what I was thinking then is, I don't know what size battery this is supposed to take, but this is a YTX9BS. I've just pinched it off the Zontes for the time being. So I'm kind of thinking in there like that somehow. I think that will clear the seat. Probably get some angle iron and build some sort of custom battery box to drop that in. And then from the side, yeah, you can see it, but it's not in your face, is it? So I am going to piss about with some angle iron and a saw and just bits and pieces. It's probably going to take me some while to figure it all out, and when I've got something that looks like it might work, we'll switch the camera on again. Right guys, it is a good couple of hours later, and I will tell you what I've come up with, which to be honest with you isn't a lot. Initially I come up with that tray, which I'm a bit crude, but I knocked that up. The idea was it would fit down in here. The problem with that is I've got to put a lot more bracketry on it. The battery will either sit too high or too close to that wheel. If I put it in the front, the battery that I've designed that to fit will not fit through this aperture here, and plus it will be fully visible from the side, which I'm not happy with. So I started looking at the possibility of a slightly smaller battery. I haven't got one, but I think a Y9B would work for what I've got. Now this is the old original battery cover. Now what I've done there, I can find, just going through my scrap bin, yeah, that, I think this bottom tray here was maybe originally a toolbox. That sat in there, and then the battery sat in this piece here. Now what I've done with that, obviously I've cut that centre section out. I've bent that upright. Before that was at a right angle. I've ground off the catch there that used to hold the old battery strap, and then the battery strap that side I just hammered it flat. Now what my plan is to buy that YB9 battery, pop that in, let me just get it into place. Come on budget, sort your shit out. So anyway, look, yeah, that will go in there. I did, just a second, let me put you guys down for a second, because I did have that wedged in there actually, and it did look quite good. Maybe I should have left it before I turned the camera on. So yeah, there we go. Right, so that would wedge in there like that. I'd be able to pick this bolt hole up here to secure it that side, and then that side I'd have to trim that off and then probably come through a hole through there, and then I'd probably put some further bracing down here. That would just about work with the YB9 battery. I won't know for certain until I've got a YB9 battery, and also the downside again is that it is going to intrude into my nice clean area, but I've got no choice. That's the way it's got to be. I have got a plan, as said before, where I'm going to part cover these. What I'm probably going to do, I know I've mentioned it before but I've not even tried it, get some plastic sheeting, cover it with carbon fibre wrap, and then just make little half covers, if you like, which I will screw onto the frame somehow. I don't know, it's just an idea in my head at the minute. I don't know what it'll come to. So what I think I'm going to do is have a final measure up of that, and then probably go and order that battery. It's 30 quid for the battery. But yeah, it's got to have a battery in it. Right, okay, don't know how much more I'm going to do on this today. It's all a bit slow today, a bit try this and attempt that and measure this, so apologies for the lack of progress, but we move forward and onwards. Right, okay, we'll leave it there for the time being. We'll catch you guys later. Cheers. Right, so finalising the job for today. I'll show you what I've done. I shall take the that's it, lens covers off, you muppet. Yeah, that's the battery cover fitted. I've bolted it onto here, and quite fortunately, and with the use of a spacer, I don't know if you can see, there, hang on, let's try and, there we go. Right, so you can see I put a spacer under there, and then it picks up that hole quite nicely, so it's bolted there and there. I do think I'll probably need some further bracing underneath it, although having said that, it's quite firm, but I will put some bracing under it. And I've also got to devise a way of securing the battery to that tray. Obviously it will bounce around all over the place. I'll need some sort of bungee or strap or bracket, but I'll figure something out. I'm now going to go and order the battery. Now I'm happy that that tray is in and is going to work. As said previously, it does intrude into the clean area, but nothing I can do about that. This isn't the right battery, but that one's knackered as I'd use it. But yeah, you see that's the seat only comes down as far as that bar, so it is going to comfortably clear the battery. Plus the one I'm getting is even lower than that one as well. So yeah, I think we're good. Next job, although it's not going to be today, is mounting all of this junk here, the flasher relay and the starter solenoid and all that shite. So good. That started off shit, but it turned out good in the end. Right, I really am going to call it a day for the now. That's it. I've had enough. Go and get a cup of tea. Cheers guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you another day. Morning all, bright and early, and we are going to continue on with this Keeway, and we're going to try and do some more with this this bracket. I don't quite know what exactly. It's fixed at 2 points. It's fixed there and it's fixed there, and I can move it a bit. I'd like to get a third fixing point on it, just to make it a little bit firmer. I don't think it'll go anywhere as it is, but you know, belt and braces, I'm going to try and knock up some sort of bracket to hold that firmer. Right, let's get some tools out and we'll come back. Right then, more Bertie bodgery going on here. I've made this weird bracket with a strange shape on the end, and then it's got a bolt welded on the back, and I'll show you what my idea is for that, if I can get you in, because it's a little bit tight here. So this is where we're working, just here. So this is that battery box. So the plan is that this, now did I have it that way, fits under that battery box, and it fits around the frame, so I can weld it to the frame so it becomes part of the frame effectively. But it will bolt to the battery box, so it makes the battery box removable. So I need 3 pairs of hands here, but I'm going to try and clamp that on if I can. Come on, stop moving. The more I do to this bike, the more bits I add on, the more welds and grinding I do to it, and the more I realise that this is almost certainly got to be torn down to a bare frame. I'll just get a little hammer and we'll try and knock that into shape. Yeah, because I'm welding bits and pieces on, and I require to sort of weld them on the other side as well, and I can't get at it, so what I can do is just sort of pack everything in place. That's moved, and then strip the frame down and completely weld everything with a bare frame. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. You know, I've lots of plans, I don't always turn into anything. Every time I clamp that on, it moves, the damn thing. I think we need a little bit of finessing on the grinder. Let's take that little edge off. It will fit. Try that. Ow, that's fucking hot. A little bit more. Not great, but we can fill it in with weld. Anyway, look, let me get that tickled up, fine tune it, clamp it on, then we can get the battery box off, and you'll see what the idea is. Okay, let's just pop you over here. I've got that bracket that I made clamped onto there, so what I've got to do now is drill through that so that we can put so we can bolt that bracket. So we'll try and get a pilot hole in there. I did buy some new drills, but they're not well, they are good quality actually, but they're bloody hell, supposed to get in them. Yeah, I'll get some pliers. Yeah, they're decent quality, but they just don't go up to very big sizes. I need some bigger ones. These only go up to 6.5mm, and they don't want you to get in them. I'm sure there was an easy way of doing that, but I don't know what it was. So what I'm going to do, I'm going 6.5mm just to centre punch. So we know where the centre is. I'm only going to mark it because that'll do, because I don't want to screw the threads up on that bolt. So now we know where that's going. Take it off, swap for a pilot drill. That one will do, just a random small size. Alright, where's it gone? Oh, there we go. For new drills, they ain't cutting very well. Yep, there we go. Right, I'm going to open that out to the biggest one I've got in this set, which is the one that I just used to pilot mark. So we'll pop that back in. Go through with that. Okay, now we're going to open that up to M8 to take a bolt. Now all my big drills are knackered, so I'm hoping I can do it with this step drill. Actually, let's get an M8 bolt and then we'll know the right size, won't we? Oh, fell off. Right, is that going to be the one? Certainly is. So that'll go through there. Now what I'm also thinking of doing, as well as this, where's it gone? As well as this holding this bracket on, like so, I'm also going to use some threaded rod. Probably not this threaded rod because it's about fucked. Screw that in there. So as well as holding that on, we'll run a nut down. We'll leave some of this threaded rod sticking up. Put another piece this side, and then we can put a battery clamp over the top of it to hold the battery down. So effectively it serves two purposes. So I'm going to bolt that on. I'm going to drill another hole opposite for that, just that, where's it gone? Get in shot, yeah. So one that side so that I can have a threaded rod both sides and make a battery clamp. Right, let's get on with that. Right, we've loosely fitted that battery box back onto the bike, and we have got to weld that bracket. It's difficult to get you on there, but when you see that bracket there, we're going to weld that to the frame. We'll tack it first, then we'll take the battery bracket off, and then we'll fully weld it. So I'm going to crack on with that off camera, and we'll let you come back and have a look. There we go, welded. Not the neatest of jobs, but we'll dress that weld when we pull the frame apart. Now this now should, in theory, let's get your guys back here in the way. We should be able to just drop that in, nice and secure, and bolt it in 3 places. So yeah, that'll work really well. I'm not putting it in now. Can you guys even see it? Right, yeah, anyway, look, it fits in really well. I'm quite pleased with that, actually. I'm not going to fit it now, as I was saying, A, because the battery's not here yet and I want to make the battery clamp for it. Plus I also want to paint that up a bit and give it a bit of a clean. Yeah, the battery's coming today. I'm in all day apart from between 2:45 and about 4:15. So you can almost guarantee this battery's going to turn up between them hours. But if it turns up, we'll get it fitted. I've got some rubber pads as well, which I can fit onto the bottom of that, so that the battery's not just sitting directly on metal. Good. Right, what I think I'm going to do now, while I'm waiting for that battery, is probably give that a clean and a paint. So yeah, we're making good progress. I think I told you I've ordered light brackets, didn't I? So we're waiting for them to turn up. What else? We need to make some sort of a tray or a bracket for the CDI and the starter solenoid and the wiring and all the bits and pieces. But I think the battery carrier was the hardest part, and we've knocked that out. Quite pleased with it. Okay, clean and painting time. Cheers. Right guys, let's crack on with this Keeway. The battery box I did paint up, and that's dried overnight. I've not made a super duper effort to give it a quality paint job, to be honest with you, mainly because it's all going to be coming apart anyway. The battery, Tainar batteries did deliver as promised, next day delivery, which ain't bad, but then they charge £8 for delivery, so really, you know, you should be getting that sort of service when they're charging that sort of price. Let's get that out of the box. I didn't buy this battery because it's the right battery for this bike. I bought this battery because this battery just happens to fit the tray that I had that I'd knocked up. So and yeah, I know I did sort of reboot the battery tray that it already had, but this is not sitting where the old battery was when this was in its original configuration. You know, let me try and turn you around and face you the other way. Where's my little seat? I'm too much of a fat lazy shit to stand there. Let's have a sit down. Right, so yeah, that's the battery tray. Now, originally the battery would have sat in like that. I've reconfigured it, and the battery now sits in that way, and that is a good fit, a very good fit. Now I've got to knock up some bracketry, like a plate. I did pick a lump of metal up actually. It's just here. This is a bit off an old scrap baby's pushchair which I kept just because I knew the metal would come in handy one day. So I'm gonna probably knock up a bracket in that configuration, something like that. I've also got some little some little pads for the battery to sit on. Let me go and grab them and then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, here we go. This is what we got. Bought these originally to put on the bottom of my top box for my Suzuki, stop it jiggling around, but they are quite useful. And they're self-adhesive on the back, so if I pop them down onto the bottom of that tray, it'll give so the battery's not sitting directly on metal. Oh, we've got plenty of them, ain't we? So let's put 2 more on. So like that, and then the battery's got something that it can sit on directly. In fact, we can pop another couple on the sides there as well. Actually, got hundreds of them, so pop one there. Like so. Another one on to the other side. Let's fuck that up. Rip the paper off. There we go. I think over time these will probably compress and press down and everything, but you know, they're as good as what was originally there. So that battery and that is really well cushioned on there now. So when we put the top bar across, we can also put some pads either under the bottom of the bar or on top of the battery, and then that will be really cushioned. Next thing I need to do is get some of this threaded rod, and then those holes are drilled. That'll go down there. There you go, a bit each side, and then we can cut it off, clamp across the top, and then that battery is very, very secure. So let me get this rod cut up, and we'll come back and have a look what it looks like. Alright, let's bring you up to date with what I've done so far, which isn't a lot. I've cut 2 lengths of this threaded rod. As you can see, it was a bit manky, so I've run the old die down and cleaned the threads up a bit. It's been kicking around in my junk box for a long time. So as you can see, 2 lumps of threaded rod. Next stage will be, and the battery will drop in there obviously, and then we'll measure across those 2 points, drill 2 holes in that bar, and then that will go across there to lock it all in place. So let's get that bit done. Right, that's what we've made. So this is how it will woefully work on the bike. I'll get you in shot. So the battery, this will obviously be bolted to the bike. The battery will drop on like that. That will drop over. Okay, and then just to give it a nice finishing little touch, we've got these wing nuts, which I found in my stash. Now the only thing I've got to do now is just throw a little bit of paint on that bracket. Get on, you twat. There you go. I'm not going to tighten it now. We'll throw a bit of paint on that bracket. We'll put a couple of them little soft pads underneath it as well, and then that should hold that firmly. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll paint that, couple of pads on it, get it fitted to the bike, and then we'll have a look at it. It's going well. It's going slow, but it's going well. Cheers. Womp, 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 womp. The noise of a failure. Yeah, I didn't think this well, did I? Didn't think it through really well at all. There's the battery, and it looks good in there, doesn't it? You know, it's a nice fit, it clears the seat, everything's fine. Apart from, there's the back thread there, which I'm trying to screw up. Screw up being the operative word. But it comes underneath this bracket, so there is no way that my beautifully crafted clamp down bracket is going to work. So yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's the battery carrier and the idea are basically there. I've just got to come up with another way of securing it. Maybe something across there, possibly. Something to the frame, maybe weld a bolt. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's essentially it works, but I've got to come up with a new way of securing it. So yeah, let me have a rethink. Right, I've come up with a solution to my battery securing problem. As you can see there, I've tried various different bits and pieces, but I've finally come up with a solution, and there it is. I don't know if you guys recognise that, but what I've basically done is I've got an old crash helmet that I had laying about. I've repurposed it by cutting the strap off, and that is in fact the chin strap from an old crash helmet. So I'll do it one-handed. Probably not. There we go. I've got the butts in there. That battery is very secure. I've got to be honest, I quite like that. I do like repurposing old shit like that, I've got to be honest. But yeah, there we go, battery secure. So now we can start working on trying to mount all these other bits and pieces, which hopefully will probably sit in a tray here. There, don't know. But yeah, that works. Okay, onwards and upwards. Right then, now that we've got that battery squared away, we need to start thinking about all this other shite and gubbins that's got to be mounted in the back. So we've got what we've got here: start solenoid, flasher relay, gizmo box of tricks thing. What do you call it? We've also got to think about not only where we can mount them, but if we've got to start extending wires in order to do so, which I really don't want to do unless I'm forced. So let's have a bit of a sort here. So that's going to be the wiring to the back light. Let's unplug that for the time being. Don't want to come out. Okay, let's not unplug it for the time being. Let's try and just untangle it. Right, given the length of the wire on that, I think the obvious place to mount that somehow is down by the battery, because that's pretty much the only place it fits without extending wires, that is. we'll probably try and knock up some sort of bracket to mount that in there. So that's simple enough. Drop it there. So right, that can go. That's going to be mounted there. I don't quite know how, but it's easy to decide that because it's the only place it reaches. Now that is the brake light, so just disconnect them for the time being. So the only other two things we've got to worry about then is the starter solenoid, which I think we can mount there on that bracket, probably pick up that bolt actually. If not, drill two more. Flasher relay. Okay. Right, let me figure out some bracketry. Right, we're going to start with mounting the solenoid, and you will notice I've come into the shed because it's just too fucking hot out there. Absolutely ridiculous heat. Oh, come on, behave yourself, that's a new drill. They can't all be shit. I'm going to have to go and get my good uns, which is what probably I should have done in the first place. Ah, that one's cutting. That's better. Just bring that bolt in because it's in my way. Now what I want to probably try and do is just drill one way through that and then tap it out and then bolt into it. If there isn't enough room to get a tap in there, I'll probably have to drill all the way through and then put a nut and bolt either side. We'll see how it goes. Okay, right, that's a pilot drill. Then we'll go with 5.5. I'm going to tap it out to M6. So I'm thinking 5.5 should be about the size we need to tap. One. And there's the second one. M6, yeah. I got my glasses on, so I'm going to try and cheat. You shouldn't do this really, because this is what breaks taps and ruins threads, but I'm going to try and tap it out with my drill. Well, that went well on the face of it. Go the right way. Reverse. Right, I think that worked. Right, let's see how this goes. See if it'll tighten up. just drop me nuts, as you do. Lighten her up. Yeah, that worked. Sorted. Look at that. That's come out quite well. That's going to be well out of sight from the side as well. I might have to slacken the wires off and reroute them a little bit, but yeah, that's well happy with that. We haven't wired any of this rear light up yet, so that's still to do. And we'll temporarily route this this wiring, because like I said, it's all got to come off in the end anyway. So we'll just cable tie everything into position. So that can go to there. Right. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Right, next thing I'm going to do is figure out how I'm going to mount that, what do you call it? I can't think of, it's not a CDI, is it? Regulator rectifier, that's the word I'm looking for. Oh dear, oh there's an earth there. Oh, there's two earths there. Well, we must get them fitted. Right, so that needs to go there. And we need to make a bracket in order to do that. Can we reuse that? Probably not. Yeah. Right, okay. I'm going to go away and see what I can knock up, and we'll come back. Okay, so I've taken off this this battery box again because I need to mount this what do you call it? I forgot again. Regulator rectifier. The only place I can really realistically mount it is on there. That's the only place it can go where the wires will reach. Now I can pick up the bottom hole there. Hang on, let's get you in shot. I can pick up that bottom hole there, but that bottom hole is, top hole rather, is higher than the level of the available metal. So what I propose to do is line that up, drill the bottom one out, bolt that, and then with the top one, where's that washer gone? Oh, here you go. I can put on a flat washer in that configuration and then bolt through that, and then the washer will nip the top of it. That should hold it just fine. I mean, I will slice off the top of that washer just to make it look nice and neat. Should hold it just fine. There's no real weight or anything or loading on that, so I'm going to go ahead off camera, bolt that on, and I'll bring you back and show you the finished result. I'm also, just to make neaten it up a little bit, I'll throw a bit of black paint on that. Cheers guys, back soon. Right, so there it is. That regulator rectifier is mounted on there. You'll see I've cut that washer at a half moon. It just makes it look a little bit less bodged, if you like. Bolted securely at the bottom. I think that'll do. That'll look okay. So we'll pop that back on. Okay, wrapping up for today, guys. We got the old accoutrements mounted. So start solenoid. regulator, rectifier there tucked in by the side of the battery. Battery tray looks nice. We've got the securing for the battery. What have we done with the battery? Here it is. We pop that in. That fits really nice in there, clears everything. And then my little motorcycle helmet chin strap also works really well. Well pleased with that. Adjustable as well. So that secures in the battery. Nice and solid. Rec fits in there lovely. It's like that was made to measure. Where's the wire for that? Just make sure the socket can actually reach. There we go. And that's on. Okay. I'll just install that little rubber sleeve. And there we go. That fits really nice. Well pleased with that. Right, that's as much as we're going to do tonight. Not much by way of looks. What I mean is, what I've done hasn't changed the looks of it by much. But we'll tidy that wiring up maybe tomorrow. We've got in here somewhere. That one. We've got a pod filter, which I'm not a fan of, but there's no way the original airbox is going back in there. So yeah, jobs are good. And right, we're done. We're rambling. We're going to tidy up. We're going to put the tools away. We're going to call it a day. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. This is Bertie Bodgett signing off.